Hey, what is going on, guys? Xpertfusion here, and today I want to do my review for The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 6, which was titled Always Accountable. So, let me just start off with my overall ratings for this episode. What did I think of this episode? Did I think it was a good episode or a bad episode? It had a good chance to being an amazing episode, but I didn't see it being that great. And the reason being is there's a few problems I had with it, and these problems aren't major, they're not something huge, but I felt like not a lot of the episode was important. There was a lot of scenes that just were not important to the storyline, and they could have filled those scenes up with something completely different, like maybe in addition to the No Way Out herd. Like maybe when Abraham was out there on the bridge, maybe they can show a herd coming towards him, something like that, and just give us something crazy that happens, because, and I'm not saying we need action 24/7. I'm not saying that at all. If they didn't have action, yes, they could have just had character development. But really, I mean, Abraham getting an RPG and yelling at a walker, I mean, yeah, he's taking out his anger, but we didn't need to spend that much time with that. Same as just everything with this whole episode. There was so much spent time that I felt like was a waste of time, that they didn't really have to have a whole lot of time spent like that. I felt like they did way too much of these little scenes that just go on for way too long, and they don't bring anything new to the show. They might take a little bit of character development, but really not enough. Like last week, everyone was saying was awful episode, and people are saying this week was great episode. But last week actually had good character development. It had great character development with all different characters, and I thought it was great for that reason. This week, it really didn't. I mean, these characters, we've already had development of them. We've already seen plenty amounts of them. I'm okay with not having much character development from them. I loved what happened with Sasha, how Sasha, is over her anger issues. Yeah, that was great. But we didn't need a whole episode about that. And I know the whole other half of the episode was a good introduction for Dwight and the Saviors. Yes, that is Dwight. If you guys, comic book fans were curious if that is Dwight or not, the blonde-haired guy, he is Dwight. Norman Reedus straight out said, yes, that is Dwight. And that we're not 100% on if those are the Saviors, but I would assume. So what I think is happening, this is what I'm pretty sure. They weren't clear on what was going on, but this is what I'm pretty sure. So in the comics, it's a little bit different than this. Let me just put that out there. So I think Dwight and those two girls, I don't know their names, but Dwight and those two girls, one of them is his wife or girlfriend or something like that. The other one is the girl's sister. So, and I believe Dwight is married or girlfriends with the non-blonde one, the brown-haired one, and they went to the sanctuary, which is Negan's, main home, to get sanctuary, to get something safe in the beginning of the apocalypse, and they've been there for a while. Negan came and decided to make a rule, and this is a rule that's in the comics, which I do believe they go by, that any couples, if you're a married couple, the wife has to be kind of like a sex slave towards Negan if she wants to stay there. So almost like prostitution. And then the guy has to, work in like army and building stuff like that, has to attribute to the community a different way if they want to stay in the community. Now, what I believe is that Dwight didn't like that. Obviously, Dwight wouldn't like that. And Dwight must have somehow escaped with those two other girls and they ran off. And I'm sure the Saviors aren't going to like that because they don't want people doing stuff like that. Once you come in, you basically stay. It's kind of like the governor, similar to the governor, I guess. And what the Saviors are doing, they were in that truck and they came out and they were trying to get Dwight back. And they said, and the girls said, we deserve what we've taken. I don't know what they took. God knows what they took. The only thing they had in that bag was the insulin. Maybe they're just saying we took freedom. Maybe she was just saying it in that way. But they left. The Saviors are now coming out to actually try and stop them. And of course, Daryl ends up helping them because why not? Daryl's a nice guy. And the one thing I did not like about this episode, well, not really one thing. I was already complaining before, but the thing that really pissed me off the most out of anything was how this episode ended. So it makes sense, okay? The Saviors came by because what Daryl was doing, he was taking Dwight and the girl to Alexandria because, he thought they were good people. He asked them the questions, how many walkers have you killed, how many people, stuff like that. And he was taking them back to Alexandria, and which was awesome. It was going well until why in the hell did Dwight pull out a gun and pull it out on Daryl? I mean, I might be mistaken. Let me know in the comment section below why he did that. It's obviously not to go back to the Saviors. Why would he want to go back to the Saviors? That makes no sense whatsoever. And So why did he pull the gun on him? He was taking them to a community, a safe community. I mean, the only thing I was trying to think of is maybe Dwight didn't trust Daryl and thought that he was going to take him to a bad place or, kill him or something. So what they did is they decided to point the gun first, take the stuff, and just leave while they could so they don't get anything fishy. Maybe they want to be out on their own and find something else because they probably just don't trust Daryl. That's what I'm assuming. But it just made no sense to me. They should have made it more clear as to why Dwight even pulled out the gun on Daryl, because Daryl was taking them to a safe community. It made no sense to me, and then he robbed him completely. It would make a lot more sense if the Saviors came by when they were walking, and maybe the Saviors started shooting, and then Daryl just he had to run off. He couldn't do anything about it, and then they ended up being taken back to the sanctuary, which would have made a lot more sense. And then Daryl ran off, and he couldn't do anything. So then he ended up running into Sasha and Abraham like he did. And then they just keep going on, and Daryl says, fuck it, they're gone. I'm not going to bother with them. I don't want to get into that group stuff. Would have made so much more sense, but for some reason, Dwight decided to pull out a gun on Daryl for no apparent reason. I mean, I don't understand. I don't know. I didn't think it was the best writing in the world. I always look at the writers of each and every episode to see, compare the episodes he's written to see, what kind of episode this is going to be. And this guy who wrote this episode wrote some pretty bad episodes, in my opinion. So I looked back at old episodes. He wrote like Slab Town, which is the one with Beth in the whole episode, and that was kind of boring and didn't really have the best development or anything like that. The writers I love are the writers that develop characters that need it. I mean, Sasha, yes, she had good development. Abraham, that was kind of pointless. I think Abraham needs some other type of development. I mean, yes, he's taking out his anger issues, but the fact that they made it take so long just made no sense. And the fact that Dwight pulled out the pistol just made no sense. So I'm reviewing the show. It's constructive criticism. Don't dislike the video because you think I hate The Walking Dead. I love The Walking Dead. It's my favorite show in the entire world. But when there's something I don't enjoy about an episode, I will point it out. It doesn't mean this episode was awful. It was in no way, shape, or form awful. I definitely enjoyed the episode. But I don't know. I want the No Way Out to last longer, and it doesn't seem like No Way Out's going to be as long as I was hoping. I was hoping it's going to be a good 3 or 4 episodes, but No Way Out's coming out to be maybe end of episode 7 and then like episode 8 and maybe a little bit of episode 9. That's what it's coming out to be, and I'm not the biggest fan of that because I would like to have a good few episodes of No Way Out instead of just like an episode and a half. Really is what they seem to be going for. And then they have to tie up so many more loose ends, and there's only 2 episodes left in this half. I don't understand how they're going to tie everything together. Because stuff like the wolf, there's still a wolf there. There's still a wolf inside of Alexandria. We're going to have to tie those loose ends up in this episode. But what about the herd? What about Daryl and Abraham and them come back? What about Glenn? Everyone keeps saying he's the one on the radio, but I do not think he was the one on the radio. I don't know what you guys think, but Daryl, Norman Reedus, his actor, said in an interview with IGN straight up, no, it is not Glenn. No, don't ask me. It is not Glenn. I don't know if he was lying or just saying, no, don't ask me. Like, don't ask me. Like, I don't know what he meant by no, don't ask me. Does he mean, no, it's not Glenn, just don't ask me? Or did he mean, no, don't ask me, like, don't ask me? Or did he actually mean, no? I don't know, dude. I'm just confused because it would make sense for that to be Glenn. He had another radio, walkie-talkie thingy, and it makes sense for it to be Glenn, but it didn't sound like Glenn. It sounded a lot deeper. It almost sounded like Rick, in my opinion. I think it might have been Rick, and why might it be Rick? Maybe something happened in Alexandria. Maybe the herd got through the fences somehow, something like that. I'm guessing that wolf that Morgan left is going to somehow escape and open the gates and let walkers in, the herd. And I think that would be probably the most, reasonable possibility for No Way Out to happen. But I don't understand what this episode is supposed to bring to the table. It didn't really do much in terms of story, but I understand it did introduce the Saviors, and I'm happy they did that. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this episode. It was a good episode. It's just they didn't deliver it in the best way possible. It was a good idea. I liked how they're introducing the Saviors so much earlier than they actually are introducing Negan, which is what they're supposed to do. It's what they did in the comics and what everyone wanted them to do in the TV show. But Dwight, I don't understand what they're going for Dwight because he is a lot more tougher in the comics. He never killed anybody, which is weird because in the comics he's killed a lot of people. And he seems a lot more calm. I mean, he doesn't seem calm, but he doesn't seem tough. He doesn't seem badass like he was in the comics. But I don't know. Maybe he'll turn into that. Maybe when Negan burns his face with an iron, maybe we'll see that because that did happen in the comics. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys on my next one. Don't dislike the video because I said this episode wasn't that great. There's going to be some episodes there, here and there, that I'm going to say aren't that great. Like I didn't really think the Morgan episode was all that great, only because I felt like they had a little bit of wasted time in the episode where they could have been doing something else instead of just all that time of just a waste. So, but so far season 6 has been amazing. I don't know if it's been the best season yet. First 6 episodes, I definitely liked season 5 a little bit better. Season 4's first 6 episodes I loved as well. Season 3, yeah, they were good. There was good introduction to the governor, which I liked. But I don't know if these are the best first half of the season we ever got. And it would have been amazing if they just did a few different things here and there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm hoping if Glenn returns, it is in this episode, but I still do not think he's the guy on the radio. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys on my next one. Peace out.